And then we got Big Ben. Big Ben Roethlisberger in the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's coming off a week where he had a questionable situation going on with his ankle. Wasn't sure if he was going to be able to perform from an injury. Man goes out those 5 touchdowns and puts up 28 points.
Whose team is he on?
You know what? I don't know whose team he's on. Is he on Team Lee?
That is another Team Lee. I would like to give a personal shout out to Team Lee for not starting him due to that.
He didn't start.
No, sir.
Oh my God.
I know it's my notes. My notes said bench.
Yeah. Oh man.
As I was writing my notes earlier today, I said, let me just put bench down here just to make sure I know for a fact he's on the bench.
Yeah.
You got a high roller, Ben Roethlisberger on your bench.
I just feel like we're going to see Team Lee later in the show.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, it's
and then we probably see him next week or the week after that in that cellar again.
Hey,
he's on a bit of a
vacation.
vacation.
Like that, I do agree.
Okay. All right, so that's going to lead us right into we got
brand new segment.
Brand new segment
this week. 4 questions. Okay. 4 questions with the guys. The first question is: if you had a chance to start your team right now, based on things that's going on right now, who would you pick with your number 1 draft pick?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna think a little bit outside the box, guys. If I had the number 1 pick today, if I was on the clock, I'm going with Wes Welker.
Welker?
Yeah, Wes Welker. All right. The reason why is because I'm sure everybody's gonna think about these quarterbacks in the league, but the thing is, in the top 10, there's probably at least 6 quarterbacks. So you can get a solid quarterback. If you don't get the number 1 guy, the number 2, 3, you'll be okay. Wes Welker, guys, let me give you a little data on Wes Welker, okay? He's the number 1 receiver in the league, okay, guys? Number 1 receiver in the league. He has 45 receptions, 740 yards, 5 weeks into the season, okay? And 64 targets. Now, with those numbers I just gave you, this is why he's the number 1 receiver. He has 10 more targets than anyone in the league, so he's getting thrown to the most. So that's a big gap, 10 targets. 130 more yards. He's number 2 in the league in touchdowns. And he has 17 more points than any other receiver. And I think that gap, separating that gap, makes him far and beyond the best player at his position, while the other guys I think is going to be a little grouped in. Wes Welker's wild pick.
Well, I think that pick is a solid pick. You made some valid points. I'm not sure if Childs has a different opinion.
I do have a different opinion. My pick would be the one Cam Newton. I picked Cam Newton because 2 reasons. One, the guy is just a dual threat back at quarterback. If you notice, he's accounted for 9 out of the 10 touchdowns that Carolina has scored this year. 5 passing and 4 rushing. So I feel like him as a goal line threat is just such a great attribute for a quarterback to have. Not along with being the 3rd highest in yardage for a quarterback as a rookie. He's the team is down a lot. They haven't been winning a lot of games, so you know they're going to be passing a lot, accruing a lot of fantasy points. May not look good in the win-loss column for the Carolina Panthers, but it's going to look good for some team out there.
Well, I hear both of you guys' points.
Right.
I vehemently disagree.
Okay.
I'm sure you do.
I'm very sure you do. And to your point with Wes Welker, no way in the hell. There's just no way.
Yeah.
I'm drafting a receiver with my number 1 overall pick right now. And that's just me. Now, you're a different story. And I'll get to my guy in a second here. You're a different story. Cam Newton, you're taking this guy from not even being drafted. Picked up on the waiver wire. By me, might I add. After the first week of the season, to already your number 1 pick.
Oh, the number 1 pick.
To me, that's a bit of a reach. I understand it, though. Still disagree with it. So, let me tell you who I roll with at number 1 overall. Okay? And that's a guy who I drafted number 1 overall. Aaron Rodgers. I've had absolutely 0 issue with this guy.
0.
Absolutely 0 issue with this guy. I don't know exactly what his average is per week, but it's above 20. Maybe even close to 30. Seeing as though he had a 51-point performance this year. He's constantly giving me data week in and week out. While we haven't won every game, we've still been competitive in each game. We haven't got blown out quite yet. So hopefully, that will maintain. Aaron Rodgers, to me, is the number 1 guy coming off the draft board, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, guys, just like I said, with my point, you got Cam Newton, you got Aaron Rodgers. If you look at their overall numbers, it's not a big difference between the two. So if you get Cam, you get Aaron, you can still get Cam. The same player. I'm saying if I get Wes Welker, you're gonna drop a whole nother tier until you get the next guy. I feel like if I get Wes Welker, I can still get a high quality Tom Brady, Drew Brees. I can still get a quarterback in my next pick.
But my only thought with your Wes Welker pick is that I feel like with the 3 receiver, you can ultimately play 3 receivers. You can make up them points with what you get with your other 2 receivers.
And with a solid quarterback.
Yeah, with a solid quarterback, you can make up that difference.
You're making up your difference.
I feel like Wes Welker, with picking that first, you're going to stifle your team with your later draft picks because running backs are gone, quarterbacks are going to be gone by the time you pick first. Guys are going to be happy that you pick Wes Welker first.
Right.
Because you can get Calvin. You can get Dwayne Bowe right now, who's putting up astronomical numbers at the receiver point.
I understand all that, guys, but those astronomical numbers aren't reaching Wes Welker, and nobody's happy to play Tar Heel Blue right now. And you got Susie Smackers, you got to play him next week.
I got to play him next week. Hopefully, Tar Heel who has a week off. Hopefully, Wes Welker doesn't show up this week, and we're able to move beyond him with the victory. So it's a point well made, guys, from both of you guys, and so that leads us right to our next question.
We're going to go right to our next question. That was first question of 4 questions with the guys. Question number 2 for 4 questions with the guys is who's your first quarter bust pause for this year?
Well, is you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Well, I'll answer first.
Team CG.
I can answer first.
No, that's no issue.
I'm going to go ahead and answer first. I'm a Debo it.
Okay. All right.
Question with the guys. This is how we got. This is just
no rules.
quality roundtable discussion. No rules.
So to me, it was a toss up between Dallas Clark. All right.
Oh.
And Mercedes Lewis.
Okay.
Tight end is your wildcat catalyst type position. Mm-hmm. It can really help your team one way or the other when you're in the trenches, when you're in a battle with another team, week in and week out. Okay. And you go into the league, go into the season expecting guys like Mercedes Lewis and Dallas Clark. By the way, my bus is Mercedes Lewis, just to make that clear.
Okay.
You go into the season drafting these guys, expecting them to kind of put up similar numbers to what they put up last year. These guys coming off major contracts and things of the such. So you expect them to perform, and you waste draft picks on them, and then you get into the league, and these guys are putting up 0, 1, 2 points week in and week out, and it just leaves you crippled. So, again, Mercedes Lewis is my bust pause for the first quarter of this young season.
All right. Well, my first quarter. Mercedes Lewis is your bust. But my first quarter player who has not performed well as
not gonna call him
bust. Okay. My first quarter player is gonna be Phillip Rivers. All right. This is gonna be a segue. Team King. It's gonna be a segue to something I'll talk about a little later on the show, but. I just feel like where he was drafted early in the second round, 3rd overall quarterback, and quarterback, just like you guys mentioned, they're so. I mean, they're gonna get you the most points consistently every week.
Exactly.
So if and Phillip right now is the number 10 quarterback in the league.
That's deplorable.
And I mean, I think that's really hurting Team King. He didn't draft them to have a mediocre quarterback.
He did not.
And I know recently he was actually looking for quarterback. So I mean, you don't draft Phillip Rivers with that point. So I mean, just for him being number 10 in the league, I think it's disappointing. And so I think that's a bust. Pause.
Okay, for my bust pause, I could have took the easy route, went with Jamal Charles or a guy like Phillip Rivers, who my co-host here picked. But I'm gonna go with Rashad Mendenhall.
That's a good pick.
Rashad Mendenhall was projected for 1,294 yards this year, 13 touchdowns.
He ain't seen the field, has he?
With that being said, with that knowledge, I'm sure the owner of the Houston Hustlers took all that to account when he picked him in the second round as his second overall pick.
I doubt it. I doubt he took anything to account.
After 5 games throughout the season, Rashad Mendenhall is now averaging 30 yards a game.
Wow.
And only 2 touchdowns.
Horrible.
This guy was picked as the 8th overall, coming into projected as the 8th overall back in the league, period. Hands down, no matter what league you're playing with, whether it's standard rules, adjusted points, the 8th overall pick, 8th overall back picked, and this guy was used in the second round.
The very definition of a bust.
Pause.
I can't argue with you guys.
I can't argue with any
you guys are
all those guys are not performing up to the team. I hope you don't have I'm sure some of you guys do have them on your team.
I hope you don't.
That's tough.
Maybe you can catch them on the waiver wire you got a sneaky suspicion that that guy's going to step his game up. But be wary. Likelihood is 0.
Yeah, guys, going into our next question with 4 questions with the guys. Now, we just talked about the first half bust, pause. Now, who's you guys' surprise player of the first half?
Seeing as I haven't went first, pause, I'm going to take this one first. I picked the one Buffalo Bills standout this year. Not the one you're thinking of. Not Ryan Fitzpatrick, who we all expected to step his game up. I'm going with the one and only Fred Eugene Jackson.
Eugene.
CJ2K and them.
CJ and 2K and them. This guy was projected as the 26th best back in the league.
Thanks.
To start the season. And after 5 games, he's leading the league as for running backs with fantasy points with 107 points.
That's amazing.
With an average of 21 points a game.
That's amazing.
This guy was drafted in the 10th round by CJ2K and them. I know he's expecting maybe nothing more than a spot start here, spot start there. But after his first week of 27 points, you got to put the guy in the lineup, and he hasn't failed yet.
He's number one running back.
Number one back in any league. Any league you check it out, Fred Jackson is number one back. He's rushing for 100 yards, catching for 50, scoring 2 touchdowns a game.
I'm scared of him. I mean, that's a buzzsaw. You don't want to run into that.
Don't want to run into that.
That's tough.
You don't want to run into Fred Jackson.
Who you got, Henry?
So this is to me my biggest surprise of the season so far. It was somebody I just recently traded away. Because my team wanted to get better. This guy went from being undrafted overall, to being the number 3 quarterback in the league.
It's the second time he's on this.
Second time.
You said you picked him number one. He's undrafted.
Undrafted.
Wow.
Okay, I picked him up on the waiver wire after week 1. This guy I'm referring to is the one and only Cameron Newton from your own Atlanta, Georgia, Westlake High School.
Stand up.
So, if you just, aside from any fantasy deal, anywhere, if you just sit here and watch the kid play football, you sit and watch the kid play football.
Gotta watch him play, man.
Gotta watch. Hey.
Well, hey, that's a perfect segue.
5 TVs.
5 TVs. 5 rooms. Okay. But Cam Newton is a beast, man. He's putting up monster numbers. Again, he's the 3rd quarterback in the league this year so far. He may have even moved up after last week. I'm not sure. But he's week in, week out, he's putting up 20 points, 30 points. I want to say his high was maybe 36 or 37 points this year. So, Cam Newton has really surprised me a great deal. I'm sure he surprised the rest of the league as well.
Right. And I'll go into my surprise is Steve Smith, the one and only Steve Smith of the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
I mean, he was drafted in the 12th round by me, CJ2K and them. We traded him away before the first game of the season to Team Wood pause, and he's one of the main reasons Team Wood is, where he is.
He's a juggernaut.
Where he is in the league. Yeah. I mean, he went from the 12th round, which is probably the 50th receiver pick. I didn't get that data for you guys. You probably should have, but to the number 3 receiver in the league. Yeah, I mean, he's the number 3 receiver in the league.
I think that goes hand in hand with Cameron Newton being the number 3 quarterback.
Right, it definitely goes hand in hand, guys. And it's I can admit to my faults. If I could do it over again, I definitely would make that trade because I actually dropped Josh Freeman when I traded for him.
That leads into, or that not so much leads into, but that helps prove our other point of Cam Newton being a big surprise. You don't expect Steve Smith to be able to do the things he does
because of Cameron.
Because
I mean, that's exactly what I was thinking. So I figured Steve might. I mean, it was a risk. I just thought that Josh Freeman was going to be a little bit, it's going to be a little higher than Steve. So, hey, Team Wood, congratulations, man. I wish I could have him back. If you like to do a trade back,
that's a good point.
And that's going to lead us right into our next segment. This is the Pregu power ranking. For those pre-games.
Hold what you got, Charles. We actually got one more question.
Yeah, we're going to get to it.
We're going to get to it.
We're going to take a quick break.
We're going to take a quick break.
We go back to our power rankings.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break and go right back into our new sponsor, the Pregu Power Rankings. Before your game, you always need that pasta for your carbohydrates. So gotta get your carbs up. So Pregu wanted to sign on and power up. So power up with this week's power rankings.
All right, guys. So we have a few changes again in the power rankings this week. The Associated Press they're constantly getting their rankings in. Let's go ahead and get this out quick. First, number 5. You dropped down. You lost last week, but you're still in it. Team Hen Dog Sushi Smackers is number 5. At the 4th spot, CJ2K and M, yours truly, we moved up a spot, and we're going to keep steadily moving up. 4 is not enough. We got to get to the top.